Welcome back to the Act Two podcast, the podcast for the real-life working screenwriter. I'm Tasha Hugh.
And I'm Josh Hallman.
And as a reminder, Act Two is a network and support group for the everyday working screenwriter, of which this podcast is just one of our many initiatives. So thank you for joining us here. Please remember to subscribe to the podcast, check out our Patreon, because a lot of fun stuff comes up that you will miss if you're not on our Patreon, because we don't mention it here on the podcast, because we're idiots. Give us a rating. Also, you could write a comment. Tell us the weirdest thing anyone has ever said to you in a room. General, another writer, doesn't matter in this industry. If you'd rather DM us, you can with questions, topic suggestions. You just want to say hi and update us on your writing life. You can do that at ActTwoWriters@gmail.com, all spelled out, or on our Instagram and Twitter at ActTwoWriters. I am Story Thursday on Instagram and Tasha 3.0 on Twitter.
I'm Joshua Hallman on Twitter. Josh Hallman on Instagram. Tasha.
Joshua.
This is already shaping up to be one of the best episodes.
I think we have an interesting energy this morning.
We do. So, quick little backstory. I was in Palm Springs up until like a few hours ago.
You look great.
You've been kind of gone, which we've sort of talked about.
Yeah, I've been gone, and then I've been sick for over a week, so I'm drinking fucking tea. I haven't had coffee in over a week.
I've had 3 cups.
God damn it.
And we weren't even going to record an episode. We were going to just kind of have a chat saying we're not going to record an episode. Then we saw each other, and we're like, let's record this episode that we were planning to record.
My voice is mostly back. I feel great.
Oh, man, I'm sorry.
Do it. I got my Tomb Raider mug here with some throat coat tea.
I'm sorry. You're going to lose your voice by the end of this. That's the worst part about this.
I might, but it'll be worth it.
It will. You know what? We have a lot to talk about, I think, just in general.
I think so, too.
For the next couple weeks.
For the next couple weeks, we have some pretty cool episodes coming up. We have some mailbag stuff. We have some stuff coming up about free work and what a lot of writers had to say about free work. We have some interviews coming up.
You know, the worst part about this whole thing is that we aren't even going to talk about Mission Impossible, which is something we haven't even talked about on the podcast.
I know.
And you've been on the road. You finally got to see it. And, maybe some other day.
It'll have to be another day, but it might be an entire day.
It's going to be, and we could talk about summer movies maybe at some point in the summer.
We are talking about summer movies kind of right now. This is sort of jumping into it, though. We started doing summer blockbuster episodes last year, which were really fun. So I think we should get back into that as we start to see some of these movies. So today, Joshua, it is an Are You Excited episode. Okay, June 6th, hopping in here, The Phoenician Scheme, espionage black comedy from Wes Anderson. Josh, do you have a favorite Wes Anderson movie?
I think Royal Tenenbaums.
That's mine too. All
right. That's good.
It's so good.
What's weird is I thought this already came out, but okay. Yeah.
Yeah, June 6th. It's because the marketing is everywhere now. It stars Benicio del Toro, Michael Cera, Riz Ahmed, Tom Hanks, Bryan Cranston, Jeffrey Wright, Scarlett Johansson, Benedict Cumberbatch, lots of dudes. Co-written with Roman Coppola, which is the son of Francis Ford Coppola, who's collaborated with Wes Anderson on a bunch of his movies, which I find very interesting.
Yeah.
Apparently, this movie was already written before the 2023 WGA strike, and Wes Anderson had talked about shooting it as soon as the strike was over, and he'd secured his cast as soon as June 2024, and they started filming in Germany. Interestingly, Wes Anderson calls this movie a three-hander adventure. If you know the phrase two-hander, it's a common phrase to describe, a certain type of movie, usually in the action genre space. It means there are two leads leading the movie. Any buddy cop movie is going to be a two-hander, for example. But this is a three-hander. My fun fact for this one.
Yeah.
Bill Murray plays God in this movie.
That's good.
Are you excited?
Yeah, but what's weird is I don't go out of my way I don't rush to the movies for some reason.
For Wes Anderson?
I hate to say that. I love Wes Anderson, but it's not, I'm excited, but I'm not like, oh man, I just pre-bought my tickets to go see this movie.
I don't pre-buy, but I used to watch them in theaters all the time and then fell out. I haven't seen his last couple movies. 3 movies, I think, which is bad because I enjoy them.
Yeah.
So I gotta catch up. Question to you. Paul has never seen a Wes Anderson movie. Should I start him here? I sort of don't think so. I feel like I showed him Royal Tenenbaums, Life Aquatic, and then we go here, right?
Yeah. You got to start with the old Wes.
I think so. Okay.
Wow. Wow.
Also June 6th. It's a hot weekend. Ballerina comes out. It's a spin-off of the John Wick franchise starring Ana de Armas, directed by Len Wiseman and written by Shay Hatton. Fun fact, this was a spec script written by Hatton that Lionsgate acquired back in 2017, which this script got him the job of writing a draft of the third John Wick movie, and then also became the lead writer for the fourth John Wick movie. By 2019, 2 years later, Len Wiseman was attached to direct it and was officially announced to the world in April 2022. They were shooting by 2023, and they finished reshoots in February 2024. For some reason, I feel like this movie has been in the works forever. I didn't ever think it was actually going to happen, but it's been almost 10 years. I'm sure probably would have happened quicker if not for COVID. You read this script, right, Josh?
Yeah, I really love this script. I like Shay Hatton's writing, and I remember reading this and being like, oh my God, this is being repurposed into the John Wick universe. So I'm excited.
I'm excited.
I'm very excited to go see this. I'm probably going to see it this weekend.
I love Ana de Armas. She's so pretty and awesome and badass. She's like the complete package. And cute and funny. She's got all the things.
Yeah. I don't look at looks. That's not how I judge people.
No,
but
absolutely.
What I will say is I really hope this movie's great. I really do.
Me too.
I do. I'm rooting for this movie.
I'm really rooting for this movie. Yeah, it's hard to do a spinoff and really get people to fall in love with it in such a strong way that it starts to take over and lets, Keanu Reeves retire and do other things. So hopefully that's what she's able to do.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Okay, also June 6th, The Life of Chuck, based on the 2020 novella by Stephen King, starring Tom Hiddleston, and written and directed by Mike Flanagan. It is a big turn. I know, it is a big turn for Mike Flanagan, the same way that Stand By Me was a turn for Stephen King, where it's this feel-good drama about the life of a man named Chuck. Apparently, Mike Flanagan's son is in it, along with his wife, Kate Siegel, who is in almost everything he does. And in interviews, they talk about how personal this movie is to them and how it's the thing they're excited to leave behind for their children.
Wow.
So you'll recognize a lot of his other casting favorites from his other stuff if you're a Flanagan fan. The fun fact is that originally this was optioned by Darren Aronofsky back in 2020. That option lapsed, and in May 2023, 3 years later, Flanagan announced he was writing and directing it, and the movie wrapped in November 2023. And I like giving these dates for you guys because it helps us sort of wrap our minds around how long it takes for movies to come together. Josh, are you excited about this one?
I am now. I wasn't, but I am now. Wow, you did it.
Yep. It's I'm intrigued. Okay, last one on June 6th is The Ritual, a horror movie directed by David Meidel and written by Meidel and Enrico Natale, based on a true story inspired by the 1935 book Be Gone, Satan.
Jesus.
It follows two priests, you'll never guess who they are, Al Pacino and Dan Stevens, as they try to put aside their differences to save an allegedly possessed young woman. Fun fact, originally Ben Foster was going to star in this movie in the Dan Stevens role, but 3 months into production, Foster left for reasons unknown.
Oh.
Excited?
I'm excited that there's a new movie like this coming out.
Yes.
I'm not sure I'll see it, but
I don't think I'll see it. It feels like I've seen this before, but I love exorcism priest movies. This is just a personal favorite of mine.
It's interesting you say that. I do not.
Really?
Yeah. For some reason, I believe all of them, and I'm like, this is just too close to.
Oh no, they're all obviously true. But I feel like it's so cool that Catholic priests are basically real life superheroes when it comes to possessions. They have this particular skill.
Yeah.
Okay. June 13th, the best movie of the year is coming out. How to Train Your Dragon, the live action remake of the animated movie. I'm now getting more hyped for this. It's the same writer director, Dean DeBlois. I don't know how to pronounce his last name because I've never actually heard it said.
DeBlois. You sound like you're saying how Joey from Friends used to pronounce something.
That is how I feel. I mean, I know him very well, and I've seen all of his stuff. It's just I guess I haven't seen, people introduce him. Same composer, different stars except for Gerard Butler. Filming began back in January 15th, 2024. It wrapped on May 16th. They relied heavily on practical sets, which I really appreciate. They have puppets for the dragons so that they could get better performances from the actors. Fun fact, Dean only accepted the directing job on the condition that he had full creative control.
Whoa.
Yeah. So
Dubois.
So this should be like the truest version of what he ever wanted to do with this, which I think is very cool. Clearly Universal believes in this movie because they're almost done building the How to Train Your Dragon theme park in Florida. Are you excited about this movie?
Incredibly excited. I think it's going to be fantastic. I loved Lilo and Stitch. I'm going to go as far to say as these live action reboots, they're here. They're back.
They're coming back?
They figured them out.
Wow. That's a huge... Okay.
Yeah.
Right when they were dying. Right when
Snow
White killed it.
I did just recently watch it.
I'm excited. I already have my tickets. June Fun Month is here. Okay.
Oh my God, we're in June Fun Month, everybody.
I know.
By the way, every year Tasha's been celebrating June for her birthday. It's June Fun Month.
June Fun Month. Only the best things happen.
Yeah.
Okay. The last one coming out on June 13th is The Materialists. It is a rom-com written and directed by Celine Song, who directed Past Lives. It stars Dakota Johnson, Chris Evans, and Pedro Pascal. It started shooting in April 29th, 2024 in New York City. It wrapped on June 6th, so pretty short, tight shoot. I have no idea what this movie is about. All I have seen is like TikToks and stuff of them being cute together on a stage, and that's pretty much it. I didn't even know it existed until I saw those like last week. But
Wow.
The log line is a young, ambitious New York City matchmaker finds herself torn between the perfect match and her imperfect ex.
Yes, I am excited. I'm always excited for movies like this. These is just like, this has been done so many times, but it gets repurposed, and I'm always curious to see how it's done. Also, from a writing perspective, this is one of those things you hear as an idea, and you're like, how'd this come out? How's it? This has been done before, but here it is.
Yeah, I mean, the entities involved are all pretty impressive.
Oh yeah.
So it's bound to be an interesting take on it. I'm willing to give it a shot. Okay, June 20th. Oh, my voice is already going.
Oh,
28
Jesus.
Years Later is coming out. It's the follow-up horror to 28 Days Later and 28 Weeks Later. This one stars Jodie Comer, Aaron Taylor Johnson, and Rafe Fiennes. It's directed by Danny Boyle, written by Alex Garland. Little history on this one, which I think is interesting. Way back in June 2007 is when 28 Days Later was said to be in development. In 2010, due to film rights issues, it was delayed. And in 2011, Danny Boyle said publicly he was optimistic it would get figured out. They continued to develop it. It wasn't until 2013 that he was like, well, maybe that's not going to happen anymore. Then 2015 came around. Alex Garland said, look, this thing is in development hell. It's not going to happen, but we're going to try. At that time, it was titled 28 Months Later.
Oh.
And then in June 2019, so that's 6 years later, Boyle and Garland were said to be actively working on the script. And then finally in 2023, the current 28 Years Later title was spoken by Garland, and it was officially announced in 2024. And principal photography began on May 7th, 2024, and they wrapped in July. So that is June 2007 was when it was said to be in development. It hurts my brain. Are you excited?
Yeah, I think I am. I love Alex Garland, but I don't know. Lately I've just been wanting to see movies that make me feel good, and I already know where this is going.
You don't think it's hopeful?
My body's just not ready for it. And the summer is filled with hope for me, and for some reason, it's just not going to do it. I'm curious, but that's when they say that I think that means it was shot on an iPhone Max or whatever with like 75 other little components to it that equal the price of a camera.
Yes.
That's all.
Yes, they had very expensive attachments.
Yeah.
Okay, I know the next one you're excited about.
Yes.
Elio.
Oh, yeah. So, yes, a Pixar movie that where the kid is going to outer space to go find an alien because he needs a family or a friend or something like that. Just say no more. I'm in. Yeah, excited. Everyone should be excited for Elio.
Fun fact, I guess, Adrian Molina also co-wrote and directed Coco. He is the co-writer and co-director of this. And
Can
Elio
I say,
means the sun.
I know I'm just cutting you off because I did get excited.
Because you're just so excited.
I feel like Coco is maybe one of the most underrated Pixar movies. I love Coco. I think it's visually stunning. It's beautiful. The story is amazing. I just feel like it gets lost in the whole Pixar kind of like pantheon of movies. I love Coco.
I came around to it. It was one that I hated when I first saw it.
How dare you?
I know, and now I can rewatch it freely and really enjoy it. Okay, June 27th. We're in the final stretch of June here. F1 the Movie. Sports drama starring Brad Pitt, written by Aaron Kruger, who wrote a bunch of Transformers movies. Which is interesting because I remember when he first made a name for himself, it was for horror movies. He wrote like Arlington Road and Skeleton Key and Brothers Grimm and The Ring. He's everywhere. It's directed by Joseph Kosinski, who of course directed Top Gun Maverick. Brad Pitt plays an ex-Formula One driver who survived a horrible crash but comes back to mentor a rookie in the Grand Prix. The Grand Prix. Fun fact, the casting for the rookie that Brad Pitt mentors included having to drive the F1 car.
Whoa.
Also, the budget is reportedly $300 million, which is refuted by both Jerry Bruckheimer and Joseph Kosinski. But that number is floating out there. Josh, are you excited?
Incredibly excited. I hope this movie does really well because it's also an Apple movie. And I feel like Apple has some of the best content and best films and best TV shows. And I also think they kind of get overlooked, mainly because I don't know if they really quite know how to market their things. But I want it to succeed because if it doesn't succeed on just a business level, like I don't know, like I just want their movies to do well so they keep making movies so we have more options for where movies can go. And in addition to that, I friggin' love Brad Pitt. I love racing stuff. I love Kosinski. I love it all. So just sign me up. Inject one of those F1 IVs into my veins right now. I'm ready to go.
Okay. I was not that excited until I saw the second trailer, which is usually where I lose interest because they show you too much. But this time it was cut in a way that made it feel sort of less cliche or like less funny and cute kind of. It moved away from like the barbs that the mentor and mentee were exchanging and more about like the drama of Brad Pitt's story. Yeah. And that brought me in.
It looks like it touches a little bit on the Maverick of it all, where it's kind of this aging.
Yes.
I don't want to say Maverick, but this aging vet who was great at one point and is now kind of going up against the youth that's trying to take him out, which is very, very relatable for everybody.
Here for it. Okay, last movie in June 27th, Megan 2.0, the sequel to Megan, the horror movie from 2022, directed by Gerard Johnstone, who directed the first one, co-written by Johnstone and Akilah Cooper, who also wrote the first one. This is produced by Jason Blum and James Wan, the two biggest giants of horror. Fun fact, the first movie had a $12 million budget, and it grossed over $180 million. Josh, are you excited?
I really like the first one. I think I'm excited. I hope this doesn't crush the Megan franchise or the like Megan universe. Yeah, like I hope it's good. I really hope it's good. But yes, I am excited and see what they do with it.
Me too. Will you see it in theaters?
That is a great question. Here's the thing. Theaters are such a big time commitment, as we've talked about. You're getting to the theater. You've got to stay for the trailers, spending money, maybe going to dinner. That's how I like to view movies, at least.
Oh, so
they have to be the right movie. So I don't know. I don't know if I'm seeing it in a theater. Maybe.
All right.
Okay.
I have to say, when I left Mission Impossible last night, started June Fun Month off correct, there were 3 young dudes in the elevator talking about some horror movie that they just saw, and they were so invested, and I think like they weren't doing it, they weren't making a night of it, they just like met there, saw the movie, and we're going home, and like their talk time of the movie was just like getting to their car.
Yeah.
And I used to see movies like that all the time. It doesn't have to be what you described.
I know.
Though that is the more enjoyable experience.
I know. I real quick, I saw Sinners by myself, and I like walked in. I didn't get popcorn. I didn't get water. I was running a little late. I just walked to my seat, sat down, watched it, and left.
How was that?
And I was running like a minute late. So I like came in right when, the opening was happening. And I just like, it just was sitting there. And I was like, wow, this is some old school shit.
I liked when I do that. I love it. I feel like I have this high. Like I can do anything. I can watch any movie. I can watch as many movies as I want this week because if it's this, easy, done.
Yeah.
It's like taking a lunch break.
For a very quick moment, it feels as though you don't have 500 responsibilities that are going to come crashing down on you the second you walk out of there.
The beauty of movie theaters.
Anyway.
That's it. That's what I got for Are You Excited?
I think I like that. I'm worried for you to keep talking because of your voice.
Yeah. Maybe we save some of the other stuff we're going to talk about for another time.
Yeah, I think we do that. Next week, we're coming back hot, strong. We just wanted to get people excited for movies.
You gotta do your Are You Excited? It's the best. All right. I'm going to wrap it up with a quote of the day and get out of here and go rest my voice.
Yes.
Great writers aren't great first drafters. They're great rewriters. Taika Waititi. Please remember to rate and subscribe. Follow us at ActTwoWriters for more awesome writing stuff. You can follow me, Tasha, at Story Thursday on Instagram or on Twitter at Tosh 3.0.
I'm Joshua Hallman on Twitter, Josh Hallman on Instagram.
And as always, the podcast is a production of Act Two, a network and support group for the everyday working screenwriter. This episode was edited by Paul Lundquist.